Welcome to my stories. If you ever felt too much, or like the road was just a little too loud, you're in the right place. Because what if the story you're about to hear isn't just relaxing, but exactly what your nervous system has been waiting for? This isn't just a story. This is a soft unraveling of tension, a mirror for your emotions, and a path back to the calm inside. So take a deep breath in. Let my voice guide you. And if you find comfort here, I invite you to subscribe and stay a while, because sometimes the most powerful healing begins with a single story and the quiet courage to listen. Letting go to grow. The psychology of perfectionism and renewal. In the bustling heart of the city, where skyscrapers stretched their reflective windows into the sky like jagged mountains of steel and glass, there lived a woman named Evelyn. She was known throughout a professional circle as the epitome of precision and excellence. In the world of architecture, her designs were legendary, sleek, efficient, and meticulously planned. Every line was calculated, every angle flawless. Clients fought to work with her because they knew that what Evelyn delivered would be nothing short of perfection. Behind the accolades and their impeccable, curated public image, Evelyn was exhausted. She felt as if her own life was a structure constantly under scrutiny, every detail under the harsh light of expectation. No room for error. No allowance for anything out of place. Her apartment mirrored this mindset. Stark, minimalist, and immaculate. Not a cushion out of line. Not a stray object on the polished surfaces. Her wardrobe, pressed and color-coded, hung like an exhibit of order and control. She moved through her days like a machine, efficient and unwavering. But there was a constant ache, a tightness in her chest that never seemed to dissipate. At night, she would lie in bed, mind racing with scenarios and solutions, rerunning conversations and decisions, as if scanning every detail for flaws. The more she succeeded, the higher the expectations became, and the more unbearable it was to consider failure. One evening, after a particular grueling day of revisiting plans for a skyscraper that was to be the crowning achievement of her career, Evelyn's phone chimed with a message from her father. It was a simple text. "Come home. Your mother's garden is blooming. You should see it." Evelyn hesitated, glancing at the blueprints sprawled across her desk. Deadlines loomed, but something in her heart gave a soft, persistent tug. It had been too long since she had been back to the house she grew up in, the little cottage nestled on the outskirts of the city. Her mother had passed away years ago, and since then the house had belonged to her father, quietly aging just like he was. With a rare impulse, Evelyn packed a small bag and left her pristine apartment behind, driving out of the city as the sun dipped below the skyline. The further she got from the towering structures and roaring traffic, the looser her chest felt. She hadn't realized how tightly wound she had become, like a spring coiled far too tight. As she pulled into the graveled driveway of the cottage, memories rushed her like a warm breeze. The garden her mother had once tended was vibrant, spilling with wildflowers and vines that wrapped around the old wooden fence. Her father was there, kneeling by the violets, carefully trimming the unruly branches. He looked up and gave her a tired but warm smile. "Evelyn," he gritted, wiping his hands on his worn jeans. "Didn't think you'd make it." She approached slowly, taking in the vivid colors, the buzzing of bees, the soft rustle of leaves. It was beautiful, but chaotic. Nothing like the neatly planned beds her mother used to maintain. "Yeah, I just needed a break," she admitted, more to herself than to him. He nodded knowingly and gestured her to follow him through the winding paths. Plants spilled over the edges, unrestrained and wild. Lavender mingled with daisies, and a rough patch of marigolds had cropped up where her mother used to grow vegetables. It was unpredictable, but somehow perfect in its disarray. "I didn't want to keep it like she did," her father said after a while. "She loved making it all neat and orderly, but when I took it over, I let it grow the way it wanted to. I think she'd like it. Feels alive, doesn't it?" Evelyn didn't answer right away, her mind trying to reconcile the unruly garden with the perfect precision of her mother's legacy. She bent down and touched a patch of violets sprouting through cracked stones. Their petals were soft against her fingertips. "You've always been so controlled, Evie," her father continued gently. "Even as a little girl, your mother used to worry that you didn't know how to just let things be." The words stung, but they also awakened something within her. Was that what she had been doing? Forcing herself into a mold? Pruning her own life into something so meticulously perfect that there was no room left for growth or change? Her mind raced with thoughts of her career, how every project felt like a trial rather than a passion, how every success brought more fear than pride. Her father continued tending to the plants as Evelyn wandered through the garden, her fingers bristling over petals and leaves, letting her hands become smudged with soil. She spotted an old wooden bench tucked away beneath an arch of wild roses and sat down, allowing herself to simply observe the way nature flowed without constraint. Nothing was symmetrical, nothing was perfect, yet it was stunningly, achingly beautiful. That night, as her father cooked dinner, Evelyn found herself drawn to an old sketchbook on the living room shelf, the one she used to carry everywhere as a child. Flipping through its pages, she found her old drawings, full of crooked houses and lopsided trees. The lines were shaky, uneven, but alive with creativity and joy. A realization struck her with a force so gentle, it felt like a sigh. She had been building her own life like a structure, carefully engineered to withstand every storm. But she had forgotten to make it beautiful. She had forgotten to leave room for the messiness, for mistakes, for being human. The next morning, as the sunlight filtered through the cottage windows, Evelyn took her sketchbook to the garden and drew without thinking, without calculating. She drew wild, sprawling structures, designs that curved and arched, shapes that seemed to dance rather than stand rigid. She let imperfection spill across the pages, like vines growing without permission. For the first time in years, she felt her chest loosen completely, and a laugh bubbled up, surprising and freeing. When she returned to the city, Evelyn brought a piece of the garden with her, an unruly pot of wildflowers for her desk. Her next project wasn't sleek and perfect, but rather bold and unexpected. Curves and organic lines intertwined, like roots seeking space to breathe. Clients were skeptical at first, but they couldn't deny the new vibrancy in her work. Evelyn knew that perfection wasn't what made her designs special. It was a willingness to let them grow wild, to bend and twist and find their own shape. She no longer forced herself to meet impossible standards, but allowed creativity to guide her. And in that surrender, she found not only success, but peace. A peace that blossomed like wild roses, unchecked and gloriously free. Hypnotic induction. Take a slow, deep breath in and let it out gently. Allow your body to settle, finding a comfortable position where you can let go of the day's tension. Feel the weight of your body against the surface supporting you, and notice how perfectly fine it is to just be here, now, without needing to do anything at all. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a beautiful garden, just like Evelyn's mother's garden, wild and vibrant, alive with color and movement. The air is warm, filled with the sweet, earthy scent of flowers and damp soil. You can hear the soft hum of bees and the whisper of leaves moving gently in the breeze. Step inside the garden now, letting the soft ground welcome your feet. Notice how the flowers spill over onto the path, weaving together the unexpected patterns. Nothing here is symmetrical, nothing rigid or confined, just nature unfolding in its own perfect, imperfect way. Let yourself be drawn to the vibrancy and the freedom in this space. As you wander, feel your mind start to unwind as well, like tight strings loosening, one by one. There's no need for control here. Let thoughts flow freely, like vines stretching toward the sun. If your mind wants to drift, let it drift. If it wants to pause and rest, let it do that too. Just observe the way your mind moves, without judgment, without correction. Find a comfortable spot, a weathered wooden bench tucked beneath an archway of wild roses. Sit down and feel the gentle warmth of sunlight wrapping around you. Take another deep breath, allowing your chest to rise and fall like a soft wave. Imagine that all the pressure you've been holding, the need to be perfect, the need to get everything right, starts to dissolve, melting into the soil beneath your feet. Feel how freeing it is to let go of that tight grip. In this garden, you don't have to shape or control anything. You just need to be, to exist, to notice how even the most unruly, chaotic parts of the garden hold their own unique beauty. Just as the flowers find their own way to bloom, you too can allow yourself the grace to grow without forcing anything. As you sit there, notice how light your body feels, how easy it is to breathe when you release the need for perfection. Your hands rest easily at your sides. Your heart beats in a calm, gentle rhythm, and your mind becomes a meandering stream, flowing without effort, without boundaries. Imagine now that in your hands, you're holding a sketchbook, the one from Evelyn's childhood. As you open it, see the pages filled with lively, carefree drawings, lines that bend and stretch without worrying about being perfect. Let yourself imagine drawing without fear of mistakes, just letting your creativity flow, unrestricted and wild. Feel that same freedom washing over you, filling your thoughts with permission to be messy, to make mistakes, to let go of rigid expectations. Allow yourself to know that it's perfectly fine to stumble, to change direction, to be human. As you slowly bring your awareness back to the present moment, carry with you that sense of lightness and acceptance. The understanding that perfection isn't about flawless execution, but about embracing the natural, beautiful flow of life. And when you're ready, open your eyes, bringing that peaceful energy with you, knowing that you can always return to this feeling of freedom whenever you need it. The story of Evelyn and her journey from perfectionism to self-acceptance holds several powerful themes and messages. Here are the key meanings. Number 1, Evelyn's life is built on the pursuit of perfection, both in her career and personal space. However, this relentless striving leads to exhaustion and a sense of emptiness. The story reveals that perfection is not only unattainable, but also suffocating when it becomes an obsession. The realization that life doesn't need to be flawless in order to be beautiful is a crucial turning point. Number 2, embracing chaos and imperfection. The garden, once neatly maintained by Evelyn's mother, has grown wild and free under her father's care. It symbolizes the natural state of life, unpredictable, messy, and vibrant. This chaotic beauty stands in stark contrast to Evelyn's rigidly controlled existence. The story teaches that allowing life to flow natural without over-managing every detail can lead to an unexpected and genuine beauty. Number 3, returning to authenticity. As Evelyn reconnects with her childhood sketchbook and her mother's garden, she realizes that her desire for perfection had suppressed her authentic creativity. In rediscovering the joy of spontaneous drawing, she reconnects with her true self, the part that loves creating for the sake of expression rather than for perfection. It's about rediscovering passion over performance. Number 4, healing through letting go. The tightness and anxiety that Evelyn feels symbolizes the mental and emotional weight of constantly striving for flawless results. When she learns to let go and embrace imperfection, her body and mind relax. The story shows that healing comes not from controlling everything, but from allowing vulnerability and openness to take root. Number 5, freedom and creativity. The story highlights the idea that true creativity cannot thrive under the pressure of perfection. Evelyn's breakthrough in her work comes when she stops calculating every line and instead lets her hand move freely. This shift from structured, calculated design to organic, flowing creativity symbolizes the liberation of human spirit when it stops trying to fit into rigid expectations. Number 6, balance between order and chaos. Evelyn's mother maintained an orderly garden, while her father allowed it to grow wild. Neither is inherently right or wrong. It's about finding balance. Evelyn learns that structure and spontaneity can coexist, and that's okay to let some aspects of life be unpredictable and unplanned. And number 7, letting go of external validation. Evelyn's drive for perfection was fueled by the desire to meet external expectations. Once she embraced a more organic, authentic approach, her work becomes more vibrant and admired than ever before. Not because she meets others' standards, but because it reflects her true self. And once again, you've done beautifully. By simply listening, you've given yourself the gift of stillness, a presence, of healing. And maybe something inside you has shifted, subtly, gently, like a curtain parting to reveal a little more light. If the story brought you peace, clarity, or a moment of rest, know that there's more waiting for you here. I'd love for you to subscribe so you can return whenever you need a soft place to land. For now, let the feelings stay with you. Let the story echo through the quiet, and return anytime you're ready to listen. Until next time, be well.